A couple of weeks ago, the Wall Street Journal did an expose on the Disney parks talking about how the prices at the parks have been raising pretty consistently over the last several years. So much so that many middle income families have found that they can't afford a Disney vacation because a 4-day stay for a family of four could be somewhere in the ballpark of $10,000, which is quite a bit of money. So much so that Disney parks are almost considered a luxury vacation at this point. And Disney has realized that they're losing a lot of customers because people can't afford it. So instead of trying to find a way to reduce the prices or make it more affordable, they just been nickel and diming their existing customers. That's basically the subject of this article right here, where they were charging more for things that used to be included in their ticket prices. And now it looks like things are going to be getting worse too, or at least according to these latest rumors right here. Disney eyes airline-style ticket pricing for theme parks amid ongoing backlash over rising costs. This is coming from that park place, and basically what it's saying is that they're going to have a way of fluctuating the ticket prices of their park so that Disney is probably going to frame it as a way of saying, like, if you want to save money, you can just buy tickets when they're at a lower cost and then lock in your price for there. I know that's what they're going to say, but in actuality, it'll mean is basically Disney will find a way to charge more for tickets, even when it's usually more in the off season at a time when you would be able to get tickets at a reduced cost. In the wake of mounting criticism over skyrocketing ticket prices, recent rumors state that Walt Disney World and Disneyland are considering a controversial shift in how the price theme park tickets by adopting an airline-style, highly variable ticket pricing model. According to sources cited by blogmickey.com, Disney exploring the idea in a dynamic pricing that could cause ticket costs to fluctuate based on real-time demand, making a Disney vacation even more unpredictable and for many families even more expensive. And as I already said, how Disney will try to frame this, but it really is just one of those things, a way for Disney to try to charge more during the off season, because if people wanted to go to Disney parks and save money, they would try to plan their vacation around then. If that was actually the big concern for many families, they would find a way to actually go during the off season. But Disney has understood that, okay, maybe more people are going in the off season, and how are we going to justify raising the prices when they're going in the off season because it's becoming more expensive? And I think this is what they're trying to do, if in fact they are going to go through with these plans. So the rumored shift isn't without precedent. Back in November 2024, Disneyland Paris quietly introduced a similar dynamic ticket pricing model. The park, once known as Euro Disneyland, has long served as the testing ground for Disney experiences, more aggressive pricing strategies under the leadership of Josh D'Amaro. Given this history, it's hardly surprising that such a model might be heading stateside. And I think that's a pretty good indicator right there, since they've done this actually in the Europe Disneyland, that they would consider to actually bring that over stateside if it actually works out for them over there. We'll just have to wait and see whether or not they go through with this, though. So what this could mean for Disney parks in the U.S. If Disney decides to implement this model at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, it will mark a significant change in how guests plan their vacation. Currently, ticket pricing is influenced by factors like seasonality and peak periods, but the new model could introduce even more variables. Under this rumored system, the price of a park ticket would still be set based on seasonality when first released. However, it would then fluctuate over time, increasing and decreasing based on real-time demand. Popular dates could see ticket prices skyrocket overnight, while less in demand days might see small drops. The only way for guests to lock in a price would be to purchase tickets early, forcing families to plan trips further in advance to avoid unexpected price hikes. And do you think this is something that would be good for the customer? Like, if you're a customer, would you prefer Disney does things this way, or do you think it's better when you just already know during certain seasons and whatnot it's going to be either higher or lower as far as ticket prices go? Because I know some people who have more of a gambling spirit amongst them would probably say, like, oh, well, no, this is a way you can possibly get your tickets cheaper than what you'd get now. But I don't think Disney, who has trouble, well, maybe not trouble making money at their parks, but definitely is concerned about the revenue that they're getting from their parks, would find a way to make it where you can actually get tickets cheaper than what they're already at right now. I think what we're seeing right now would almost be the base price, and what they're going to go with is either higher or what we're seeing right now. So I don't think this is going to be a way to save money if that's really what you're going to do. But I don't know, maybe if it's during a certain period where they're just not selling a lot of tickets, and maybe Disney could consider like, okay, reduce those prices to try to get people to the parks. And in fact, I think that would probably be a better method for Disney overall if they want to attract more customers, is just to lower the prices for the tickets. I mean, there's still many ways you can spend money at their parks, or if you're staying at the hotels, they can make a lot of money from their hotels, all the merchandise and food and other things like that. So allow people just entry to the park, and then from there you could probably gain a lot more money from them. But I don't know, it seems like Disney is going to continue to nickel and dime people any way they can, because they're not making as much money as what they would like. So seems to be the way they're going to be going about doing it. System updates on the horizon. Sources suggest that Disney is preparing for system updates that could accommodate this new pricing model, though there has been no official announcement from Walt Disney World or Disneyland. Even if the infrastructure is put in place, Disney may choose to sit on the capability until a later date, gauging guest reactions and overall market trends. It's also worth noting that Disney might not stop at park tickets. The company could potentially roll out dynamic pricing to hotel rooms as well, further complicating the vacation planning process and making it even harder for families to budget it. And I think their idea, well, at least the way I think this will actually work out is Disney will probably think like, well, people who are planning a Disney vacation will try to plan it and lock in prices when they think it's going to be at a reduced cost. And like I said, the reduced cost probably won't be that much different than what we're seeing right now if it is actually lower. But I think what we see right now will probably be kind of the baseline for everything. And then Disney's thinking like, okay, they'll lock in their price. They'll lock it in advance. So at least we'll have a heads up on how much we can be expecting to make in the next couple of years from our Disney parks and other things like that, or at least how many guests we expect to have during this particular time period. But I think in practicality, what will ultimately happen is people will just choose to go to other parks instead, because you could plan a trip to Universal, for instance, in Orlando and be like, well, we know what we're going to be spending moving right here. Or if we wanted to plan a vacation, we can budget for it. And then we know how much we're going to have to spend on it. Whereas Disney, there's an unpredictability to it. So I think if anything, it's just going to alienate more people and further exacerbate the decline of attendance at their theme parks. This article even talks about how maybe it's going to make guests shift from going to Disney parks in favor of going to other parks, especially when you consider how Universal in Orlando is going to be opening up Epic Universe, which is highly anticipated 5 parks that are going to be there with a lot more attractions there, something that Disney really can't compete with at this time, because their parks have been kind of stagnant for the last several years and for the foreseeable future. So if Disney does try to roll out something like this, I think it would be an act of desperation that they'll do in response to how Universal is doing with Epic Universe when that finally opens up in a couple months. So it says it's still a rumor as of now. Disney has not made any official announcements regarding dynamic ticket pricing at its U.S. parks. It's entirely possible that the company is merely exploring the option without any immediate plans to roll it out. That said, given Disney's recent focus on maximizing per guest spending, it wouldn't be surprising if this model becomes reality sooner rather than later. Maybe it doesn't work out at their European park and they're decided like, okay, well, we tested it out there. It didn't work out, so we're not going to bring it stateside. But if they do find that they can make a little bit more revenue over in Europe because of that, then maybe they'll try to bring it stateside. But like I said, they don't have as much competition as far as, like, look at Walt Disney World in Florida. That's the most visited theme park in the world. And right now it's going to have some stiff competition opening up from some of the other theme parks, because there's quite a few other theme parks within the Orlando area that people could go to instead. So even if it does work out in their European Disneyland, that's not to say that it would actually work out in their one over in the US. So I don't know. I mean, Disney, I could see them actually doing this, but I don't think it'll work out for them and maximize their profits. Instead, I think it would just cause more people to choose to abandon Disney parks in favor of other places. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think this would be a good move for Disney to try to implement, or do you think it would actually just be a disaster for them as a company? And would you actually be in favor of such a move, or do you think it's better when you already can plan out in advance how much you're going to spend if you wanted to go to a Disney park And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.